Welcome back, peeps. In this video I finally wanted to cover a request from a fellow creator in the workshop Discord server and show you a way to create motion lines as seen on LEGO's box art. I did a little Sudoku My Battle Pack mockup and we'll add some motion lines to the bark speeder. I removed the background on this one by hand in advance to give us the cleanest possible starting point for this video. So let's get started with the lasso tool and isolate the speeder so we can work on that separately from the rest. Hit enter to make the selection and copy paste that real quick. Click the new layer icon to assign the pasted selection to a new layer and drag it below the subject layer. I didn't pay close attention when taking this photo, and the ski pieces on the front and the engine are oriented like 4 degrees differently, so I'll split the speeder into 2 parts by selecting and cutting out the rear. And this way we can add the correct motion lines to both pieces individually. As usual, there are other ways to make motion lines. I'll just show you one of them here to get you started. Let's start with the back one here. Go to Filters, Blur, Linear Motion Blur. I'll get a little closer in here and let's reference the edges of the ski piece here to align the blur. Increase the length to see what we're working with. And use the angle slider to get the blur oriented where we want it. Now set the length to whatever you like. Whoops, you can see where the layer ends here. Let's hit OK on the blur though, so we have these parameters saved as a preset. And let me enable the layer outlines real quick. Right click the layer and find layer to image size. And I reckon you can imagine what that does. Now let's go back to the motion blur and select the last used settings under presets. And the side effect of recording and editing large images is that this takes a moment to load for me now, but it's gonna be fine. And there we go. Now I'd say we get rid of everything we don't want to have motion lines, so let's use the lasso tool and select around the blurred pattern of the ski piece here. And back to the first point along the bottom edge here. Nice, make the selection. And hit delete. Select none. Actually, let's ditch the helmet line, I don't like that quite as much. And focus on the skis here instead. The same process would apply though. Now let's repeat the blurring and isolating process for the front one. And there we are. Let's have the front blur be on top of the layer stack so it goes above the speeder where they overlap. Just a small detail, but I think it's going to be nice. Now right click, alpha to selection. Take the gradient tool and drag in a black to white gradient. Make sure you select bilinear in the toolbox. That way the gradient goes from white to black and back to white. So we'll have a line at the top edge and one at the bottom edge here in a second. Let's head to color, color to alpha, and select black to be removed. Alternatively, you can also set the gradient settings to make a white to transparent gradient. That's going to save you this step. And now let's do the same on the back. Remove black. And if you ever get little pixels or artifacts like this, just cut them out. Now then, let's right-click one of our motion line layers and hit alpha to selection. Invert the selection using Ctrl-I and hit delete. Maybe twice here. And just like that, we've made some motion lines. Let's do the same on the front. And we're pretty much done. I added some shadows to all the objects by duplicating and flipping the layers, then coloring them black and blurring them a little. And I also added some blaster balls. And if you want to know how to make those, check out the video in the end card here. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed your stay today. Been a short one, but feel free to share this video around if you found it useful. Maybe you're working on a custom model and instructions for it and want to make a neat cover picture for them, whatever you're up to. And if you want to see more videos like this before they release here on YouTube, feel free to support me on Patreon for that and more benefits. And until next time, keep bricking.